no better way to start with the head of the Cobra Kai dojo. Please give it up for Johnny Lawrence himself, William Hawk. The man who made us all learn that mercy is for the weak. First off his win at the All Valley Tournament, he plays Miguel. Please welcome Xolo Maridueña, whose name I just... Next up, where Miguel goes, we see another gentleman. He used to go by Eli, but now he goes by Hawk. Please welcome Bertrand. And finally, we've got the men who brought this show together. Please welcome the executive producers and creators of Cobra Kai, Josh Healdy, John Hurwitz, and Hayden Schlossberg. No one's gonna.
We haven't seen each other in a long time.
So,
has anybody seen Cobra Kai the season 1? I haven't seen it. I hear it's pretty good. Remember, John Kreese comes in at the end after the Cobra Kai finally took back the All Valley and their rightful place in the karate world. Thank you to Hawk and Miguel, Xolo, and Jacob, who destroyed my son. No mercy. So at the end of the season, Johnny's in the bottle where he lives, and in comes John Kreese. And Johnny truly believed that he was dead, as did Daniel. And it's a very father-son relationship. It's very dysfunctional. There's a lot of anger, a lot of pain. And there's basically two Cobra Kai staring at each other. Only this time Johnny's not a boy, he's a man. And so Kreese had something to deal with, but Johnny something to deal with back. So it's a lot of fun. It was great to have Marty on the show this season. It was really hard to not have him on the whole time last season. We finally got the King Cobra back. Yeah. And he does not disappoint.
Marty, let me ask you, Kreese, like pretty much...
Certainly. Tip me later.
Like pretty much every element of the Karate Kid is iconic, and that goes for John Kreese as well. So it was like for you to come back to this role and approach it, this is a show that's done such an interesting job of sort of deconstructing Johnny Lawrence. So it's like for you to come back and play John Kreese now, and take a different look at who this guy might be.
Well, you've got to remember that you could never deconstruct Johnny Lawrence. Johnny Lawrence is really the Cobra Kai really the Karate Kid for the last 30 years. John Kreese has never believed that a simple thing called the crane kick could defeat of my hero Johnny Lawrence. So you could never deconstruct him. I think when I come back and I say the real story is only just begun. It's really the story of us, and there's two things I believe, and it's not a spoiler, but I can give it to you. There are two things that John Kreese truly loves, and that's Cobra Kai and Johnny Lawrence. And as we watch the shows, through these as of April 24th, you'll get a chance to see how much he loves Johnny Lawrence and how much he truly loves Cobra Kai, and which one wins. And there really isn't a winner. It's all passion and lust for what's right and proper in that world. John Kreese's world is a little jaded, but it's also at times vulnerable. So I hope you all enjoy it. But working with this guy next to me has been the best. His work is brilliant. Should have gotten an Emmy last year. And I think he will this year. So, bottom line is, it's been a pleasure, and working with the writers has been brilliant. And John Kreese is not dead.
Xolo, you know, we left Miguel in a very interesting place because he was very triumphant, clearly. He won the All Valley, but he's also crossing some lines that might feel a bit uncomfortable. Even Johnny might have felt a bit uncomfortable. So what's his attitude like now going into season 2?
Going into season 2, you know, we left off with Miguel winning the tournament, but feeling conflicted as to if he actually won. You know, literally speaking, yes, but, you know, figuratively speaking, he lost Sam, which at that point is the only girl in his life, you know, and he sees on you know, Johnny's face that he's a little discontent with the situation. So going into season 2, we're going to expand on that, on the idea of what it means to be a winner and then how you win. And I'm excited to explore that with not only, you know, Billy and Marty, Johnny and Sensei Kreese, but also the younger Cobras. I'm so excited.
And, you know, Jacob, your character went through a huge transformation in season 1. He gained some much-needed confidence, but then maybe too much confidence? Maybe arguably. Has it been, how exciting has it been for you to get to chart the journey of this guy?
It's been pretty cool. What's up, guys, by the way? It's been awesome. I loved getting to do that transformation. I just couldn't wait, you know, to get my hair dyed, you know, get the mohawk, you know, shave the sides and everything. It's super cool to do a total 180. When I first read for the role, I only read for Eli and ended up having, like, going into the audition room with the wrong script, and then they handed me, like, hawk sides, and I was like, oh, this guy's crazy. But it was awesome. It's super, super cool to go from this kid, this really weak, sort of pathetic kid who keeps getting picked on all the time, and just sort of become this super badass guy with the mohawk who can just beat the shit out of anybody.
I want to talk for a moment about that audition, because we were looking for the character of Eli/Hawk for a while. This was, you know, a month, 6 weeks, and we were just having so much trouble finding somebody who could sort of make that transition. And yeah, so Jacob comes in and he nails the Eli part. We're like, okay, this is great. I think we finally found like a guy who's perfect for Eli. And then he starts reading the next scene, and we're like, it was the wrong scene, and we were really nervous. And we're just like, okay, let's give him these sides, and we gave him the hawk sides. And then he left the room for like 10 minutes. He came back. He was completely off the page, and we saw what you guys saw in season 1, which was a very confident, intense young man, and we knew we had our hawk that day.
I think sort of the grand Karate Kid tradition, we saw Johnny use some unorthodox ways to train Miguel in season 1. So I want to ask the producers, you know, now that Cobra Kai is expanding, Kreese has shown up, might we also see some unusual ways to teach the Cobra Kai at large?
Yeah, I mean, the fun thing about the Cobra Kai dojo is that it doesn't really take place a lot of times in the dojo, and there's going to be a lot of new and interesting locations where Johnny is going to challenge his students to learn his kind of karate in an environment that makes sense for what Cobra Kai is. And I think we have a little piece of that to show you today.
An old cement truck training trick.
It's nice, the classic karate cement truck training.
Anything leap out for any of the cast about filming that scene? Any memories of that day?
Just how much fun it was.
Yeah, it's hard to balance inside of it. It's really slippery. Yeah, you slip around, but it's I don't even know what.
On paper,
Yes. Yeah.
we drew this thing trying to explain to people what we were going to do, and we kept saying we're going to put them in a cement truck. And people kept looking at us saying, no, but really, what are we going to do? And by the time we were done, they were pretty much in a cement truck.
Yeah, we recommend that none of you out there
Don't go in an actual
just don't do it. Please don't do it. We don't have a disclaimer on the show. We probably should.
There are things inside of a cement truck that are bad. And what we did here was safe and correct and what they really needed. But yeah, it was messy, and it was probably busy.
It was pretty weird. I remember we kept trying to push each other and get each other to like fall into the cement. And one of the actors, Khalil, he actually like ate it. He got completely covered.
I think that even surprised John Kreese. I mean, you know, I have this line later on. I say to Billy, you know, Billy, you know, someone could have actually died in there. In the office afterwards, you know, and even John Kreese, he says it with a smile on his face, but I mean, you know, it really was when I read it. And I was so glad I had that scene afterwards because it was really a very ballsy thing to do. It's the kind of thing that I might not have done back 35 years ago with my crazies, you know.
I want to ask, you know, Billy and Marty, you know, this is the first time you're playing these characters together, you know, since the beginning of Karate Kid Part 2. What was it like to, you know, once again, act off each other, play these two characters that you got to originate so long ago? Did you kind of fall back into the old patterns, or was it a little surreal at first?
I think, well, Marty and I have been dear friends for many years, all these years really, and so our off-camera relationship is pretty deep and wide, and we have a lot of love for each other. So it was really exciting to come back into Johnny and Kreese with that history. But once we put our suits on and I become Johnny Lawrence and he becomes John Kreese, it's very similar to when Ralph turns into Daniel LaRusso. Something just kind of happens. And it's alive, and Marty's gone and Billy's gone, and there's John Kreese and Johnny Lawrence and all their dysfunction. I mean, here's the man that built them, and Johnny's trying to, you know, make some changes. You know, you got three generations. You got the Cobra Kais that are today, and you got Johnny, who's old school, but then you got Sensei Kreese, who's really old school. So you got three ideas floating around in this dojo, and it's kind of toxic.
Yeah,
It was awesome. It's awesome working with Marty. The best was going to work with him in the morning. We'd drive every day. We'd meet downstairs at 5 o'clock, our eyes crusty, you know, have a cup of coffee, and we'd be cranking, you know, some Van Halen on the way to work, just for real, like, you know, like, I have video of it. Maybe I'll post it, but we would just go crazy in the mornings on the way to work. Then we get there, and by the end of the day, it's just silent on the way home. We're exhausted, mad at the writers for what they put us through, complaining, and then we go home and work out in the gym and get up the next morning and do it again. It was awesome. It was a great time. We've been dreaming about this moment for a long time, Marty and I, and these guys made the opportunity. So hats off to Josh, John, and Hayden.
We couldn't ever put down these guys because we get tired at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, your eyes are crusted and you're exhausted, and you know you're going to do 3 different shows because we were so overwritten on the episodes that we'd have to do pickup shots. That, you know, you're doing episode 8, and then all of a sudden you've got to do scenes for episode 2 or 3. There were 3 crews going at one time, and we would complain to each other, "Oh God, we work so hard. These guys are so ruthless." But they, at the same time, were rewriting, co-directing, editing, producing,
And partying. I don't know how they did it.
So we could never say that, we could never feel sorry for ourselves because they were just working harder than anybody. And I've done
For my show to work, it takes leaders like these guys, seriously. They set the tone, they set the pace, they're relentless, they're even temperament on the set. You know, if you're frustrated, they're cool. They're dealing with 20 more things that you're dealing with right then. So we have some great leaders. So
we got very lucky that way.
Indeed.
I want to ask for the executive producers, I mean, I know I'm one of those people who was so excited for this show, but then you also have that trepidation because you're like, don't screw it up, don't screw it up. So what was it like, you know, because you get these revivals and, you know, they're so precious to people. What was it like to see that response to season 1 and to get such a positive reaction when you put it out there to the world?
It was great. I mean, we're huge fans of The Karate Kid, and when we took it on, we wanted it to feel like a continuation. That's how we approached it. It was, you know, we had seen all the movies, we knew it inside and out, and we knew what made them work as writers ourselves, and so when we took it on, we just felt like, okay, would we love this if this came out? And, you know, hopefully the fans will too, and so, yeah, when we saw that response, it was just like, okay, good, we're not crazy.
Sort of similar for you, Billy, you know, having been connected to the character so long, how gratifying was it to see how well received the show was and this, you know, getting to look at Johnny Lawrence and the way you're doing it?
Yeah, I love looking at the way they approach when they pitched the story to me.
in a Mexican restaurant. I like telling this story. They call me to lunch, Josh, John, Hayden. You know, they did Hot Tub Time Machine, Harold and Kumar franchise, and so they said they had a project, so I thought, okay, it's going to be interesting, and I was already interested in it. Then they're like, all right, it's called Cobra Kai, you're playing Johnny Lawrence again, we got the rights, Sony's on board, Hurwitz on board. I was overwhelmed, you know, but they pitched it, and I was like, the one thing I don't want to happen is I just, you know, I've kind of carried the torch as the 80s quintessential bad guy for many years, you know? Somehow that's cool now, you know, for so long it wasn't. It's kind of funny. But, you know, I'm like, but I don't want to happen, I don't want you to set him up so he ends up, I'm like, is this like the long burn to me getting the crane kick in the face again? They're like, no, this is guy, he's gonna be more of an anti-hero, you're gonna, you know, he's like kind of like Bad Santa, but he's Bad Sensei, and we come in and, you know, and I said, okay, you know, they were so passionate, they knew what they wanted us to say, and they were really tapping into Johnny Lawrence, who's been dormant for 30 years in me, you know, it was like waking a part of me up, so it was like this kind of slow opening up to the idea of it, but I felt they were the right guys, it was the right time, they got Mashio on board, and we just kind of, in the next few months, we were set up with YouTube Red and Premium, and now we're here. It's crazy. It's been 2 years already, 2 seasons. It's unbelievable fast. But the feedback has been incredible. I think we all stepped into it, each of us, especially I know Ralph and I did, and Marty, just cautiously, because the Karate Kid's something that's so sacred. It's not ours anymore. It's the fans around the world. You all have deep memories with it. You know, we did the work, but it relates to people. So I think everybody stepped into opening up to this a little cautiously, and we all did. But it was done a lot of love and care and passion and truth, and then the writing and the comedy and the drama and the tone all got right. So when it was served out to you all, and you know, everybody started clicking, all of a sudden we saw the numbers going to 50,000, 100,000, million too, is like mind-blowing. And we didn't realize who was out there, but welcome to the party, everybody.
We'll start taking audience questions. Let's start running. At what point did you kind of realize how big a deal this thing is to so many people, you know, both before it debuted and when it debuted?
Yeah, I think I remember as early as auditioning for the project, one of the callbacks that I went out for, I didn't know that Billy was going to be in the room. And I walked into the room and I see like Josh and Hayden and like some of the producers, and then there's a guy standing up like on the other side of the camera, and it's Billy, and he's like, hey, how you doing, man? My name's Billy. Like, nice to meet you. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I know you don't even have to say your name. I know who you are. Like, and you know, getting to work with not only Billy and Marty and Jake and all these guys, but Ralph, you know, Mary, Mountain who plays Sam, and Tanner who plays Robbie. It's such a blessing, and seeing the reactions and seeing the reviews and how positively it's been, you know, put out there is really phenomenal, especially because you have all these renditions and these sequels that come out that some of them do really, really well and some of them don't do so well, and seeing Cobra Kai get probably one of the best ratings I've ever seen a sequel get is awesome. To see that you guys love it just as much as we do, and it really is such a blessing to be a part of it.
For the producers, I do want to ask, this is a very Cobra Kai panel, but anything you can tease about what's going on with Daniel on the other side of town this season, since there's a rival dojo in town?
Well, I mean, Daniel's never gonna feel comfortable with Cobra Kai just, you know, running amok in the town. So as we, you know, showed at the end of the season, he's opening Miyagi-Do. So he, you know, is taking the, you know, Miyagi's old house and converting it into a sort of outdoor, indoor dojo. And you'll see this season how that goes. You know, how, you know, him actually trying to bring students in when there's another game in town that's got a cooler logo. No offense to the Bonsai against Sunset, but you know, Badass Snake is just kind of cool. So you get this a lot of like comedy with Daniel trying to, you know, get the dojo going, kind of like the first season with Johnny. But then you get a little bit of that old Miyagi feel to it as the season goes on, and so it's. If you're looking for something that feels like Karate Kid, you're going to enjoy season 2.
And then, Billy and Marty, I'm just curious for both your characters in 2019. What do they make of Daniel LaRusso? I mean, obviously for Johnny, he almost had a bonding moment at the end of season 1. It went south. So what do both these guys think of this guy who's been a thorn in their side for so long?
Well, I personally, my viewpoint is reasonably simple. I have a lot of condolences that Mr. Miyagi is gone. You believe that, you believe that I'm a duck. But in all actuality, there's some wonderful confrontations in season 2 that between all of us intermingling, seeing each other for the first time, and it's very exciting for me because I really enjoy, you don't get a chance to work with Ralph, and I enjoy the
Tormenting him.
It is, in a sense. I wasn't going to say it that way, but it is. And it's kind of fun because Miyagi-Do, Cobra Kai's got the edge. John Kreese is a war machine, So it's got an edge, and he's softened by Billy somewhat. And Ralph is portraying a character that is trying to be Mr. Miyagi. So it's very interesting for me to revel in the fact that he'll never succeed.
Johnny's perceptions of Daniel changed at all based on season 1, or is it still like, this guy?
Johnny's just going about his business. When he goes into the dealership the first time, he knows that it's LaRusso's, and he tries to skate out of there. He's kind of like, he has to face him because he was called out. Johnny's not. Listen, the difference between this and the movie is Johnny's not on his motorcycle hunting down Daniel LaRusso. It's almost a little the other way around. This guy's got to keep showing up and his peripheral, and Johnny's just trying to make a buck. Sure, he's teaching these kids maybe not the best tactics, but whose business is that? There was a great season. One of my favorite episodes from season 9, season 1 was episode 9, was different but same, where Daniel and Johnny have a fun cruiseless and REO Speedwagon in the valley. And you get to see that maybe they could potentially be friends, when they're not thinking about anything. They actually have a lot in common, but they also have 2 totally different worldviews. They had totally different sets of training, totally different life experiences, and even if they were, best friends, they'd still have a lot of issues between them and a lot to work through. So, I think that, there's a little bit of that in season 2. Daniel's out there with Miyagi-Do, but Johnny doesn't really even know or care about that. What he wants back is he wants his kid, who's now hunkered down over at Miyagi-Do, which isn't the coolest thing. And he wants Miguel to be better than him, and he wants his Cobra Kais to be better. He's trying to make some changes. So, but he's got the world against him and all of that, including his bologna breakfasts. But I want to say, if anybody has any doubts about Cobra Kai and whether it works or not, all I can tell you is Hawk is off the spectrum, and Miguel hasn't had asthma in like 9 years. So come on over to Cobra Kai. Water's fine.
Let me add one thing to that. The interesting thing that went on when we did Karate Kid 1 was the respect that the Cobra Kai, my students, had for John Kreese. There was that quality that it was unwritten because it wasn't practiced. And there was that wonderful respect that all of the students, especially Johnny, had 35 years ago, where I, as the actor, was amazed at all of the freedom that I had because they respected John Kreese innately as actors as well as characters. And you two, this happens now because, I can't tell you everything, but they are the students in a formidable dojo. And that kind of respect happens the same way. So it's almost a deja vu to work with these actors as it was back 35 years ago when I was working with my favorite lunatic, Johnny Lawrence. So it's a true pleasure to create with these people.
Get the first audience question here.
Hi, I love the show. I've been watched all the episodes in one day.
I hope it was a school day.
My question is, for the fighting scenes, do you guys ever watch like UFC fights to get ideas on what to do during the fighting scenes? Because I would see a lot of the fighters doing the crane kick from the Karate Kid.
Oh yeah, the UFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody did do that. Do you remember who it was? Are you a big UFC fan?
Yeah, I love UFC.
Do you know who did that kick? I can't remember.
Lachita.
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 Okay. All right. Okay.
I know it's hard to pronounce.
Yeah, I saw that kick too. And there's some, I don't know. We don't do the choreography. We just, they tell us what to do and we put our feet there. And there's a name to it and an origin of that. That's up to our stunt choreographers, Hito Koda and Janelle Kerfman, who are insanely talented. Give it up for those guys. There's so much fighting in this, especially in this season. It's way more than the first season. But I don't know where they get their. They do a lot of traditional karate. We did Tang Sudo, which is the style of Cobra Kai. It's a Korean style, but they're adding a lot of modern day martial arts to it, tricks and things like that. And there are some moves that you might see in the UFC, except really on the ground. They don't do a lot of tapping outs for beep.
In the movie, in Karate Kid, Pat E. Johnson, who played the referee, he trained all of the fighters in different styles. He trained the Cobra Kai in a more aggressive style of martial arts. Then he trained Ralph and Pat. And Hito and Janelle, our stunt coordinators, they're incredible. They know so many disciplines in terms of martial arts and fighting and choreography that whatever the three of us can kind of come up with in terms of the roughed in idea of what a scene is going to be, they help us take it to the next level from an imaginative and a realism standpoint. And then they throw it to these guys who, everybody up here does so much of their own work that it's really, really incredible, and you're going to see a lot of them doing it in season 2.
Thanks. Next question.
Hi.
Your face?
I saw that there was like a few previews of season 2 that have been kind of released where it seems like Hawk, especially, is reprimanded for striking an enemy without them looking. It seems to me that it might be possible to surmise that Johnny Lawrence threw the fight. Is that a possibility to be revealed?
Through the fight?
Through the fight.
Through what fight?
Through the fight.
Oh. Talk to me after the show. I cannot reveal that. Who are you?
I am you.
Hey, nice, touche.
I wanted to ask the cast, what's your favorite rule of Cobra Kai?
Favorite rule?
Yeah, strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
I know Xolo's is strike first because he accidentally punched me one time.
Yeah, I actually would say though, strike first is in all seriousness, I would say, yeah, strike first, I mean, it's the beginning of the mantra, and I feel like in most cases it's the most important part.
I like no mercy. It just fits with Hawk. I really like that one.
I think John Kreese will just always go to his grave screaming, finish him.
I don't know. Johnny might say girls have hollow bones, my favorite one. My person would be more strike first, strike hard, I guess. It's on the wall, Otherwise it would have been something else on the wall. Like, get him a body bag. Maybe a good one, though. What's your favorite?
I like no mercy. Hawk's mentality is probably a good winner, but
I like no mercy.
maybe not the best in life, but
I mean, hey, you can get a back tattoo. That's pretty
You can't win with any of these things. All the sayings are inspirational and motivational.
Miyagi
Help you get through life. What's that?
Miyagi doesn't have anyone.
Yeah, no, just wax on, wax off.
You want to make your car real shiny? That's great.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Another familiar costume here.
What's going on, guys? I just wanted to say I never thought in a million years I would be able to. I would love to see, I'm hoping to see, a throwdown, ultimate throwdown between Johnny and Mike Barnes and Kreese.
And Kreese and who? Oh, you lost your mic there, but.
Just ask her a question.
Between Kreese and who?
Oh, Kreese and Terry Silver. That's my question.
The Karate Kid 3 question.
Well, there's 3 guys at the end of the table that can make that happen or
We
not.
cannot talk about who is going to be fighting in the future. We're aware of all of the characters in the karate. And there's a possibility that anyone could show up at any time, and anyone could potentially fight anyone else.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, nice jacket, dude.
You just have to let them out of jail.
Hello. Just adding on to that question as well, going back to John Casey, basically, Terry Silver, you saved his life a lot of times in war, right? So he has to come back to help Cobra Kai defeat the loser, right?
Listen,
We got the back to our thing, yes. Has to come back. No, I think, listen, we talk about all the characters, whether or not, it makes sense to bring them back, and we have our own,
listen, we've been to the writer's room and we've thrown around names like Snake and Dennis. Like, we are aware of all of the characters. We've watched it. We live with it. It is, it's all canon to our universe. So we're never going to tell you, or if it's coming. But when it comes, it'll be awesome because we're not going to do it in a way that
It'll be perfect.
Great.
By the way, a great message one question.
I'm gunning for Walton Goggins to return from next Karate Kid.
Just remember, John Kreese doesn't need any help in that though.
First of all, amazing first season. Thank you for that, guys. And my question is, when you are writing the season, do you do you write per season, just like how you know the season's going to end, kind of like the arc of the season, or do you have like an overarching sort of like show Bible of how you want the whole kind of series to go? How it's going to resolve?
Yeah, we have a general idea of how where we want these characters to go. Ultimately, the first season we kind of just mapped out the first season. We knew that second season we wanted there to be these 2 dojos fighting for the soul of the valley. After the first season, when we had the success, before we started writing season 2, we kind of mapped out multiple seasons to figure out exactly where the best things would land. But it just changes every year when you start actually working on a season. Suddenly you realize, wait a second, where we thought was the end is just, there's too much to get to. So I guess we have to find a new end of this season. So we're still figuring out aspects of season 3, in our minds. But we also think about seasons, 4 or 5 and all of that. But you don't know exactly how many seasons it is. You just know, okay, I want it. For Johnny, it's about a guy getting over his past ultimately. And we knew, having Sensei Kreese come back was going to be a big part of that, and you'll see where that goes. But there's a lot of history there to still get to. So it's there's a big great game plan, but it keeps changing every day.
Awesome, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I like your show. I got a question for Jacob. You're the right place! I noticed Hayden Liz is going to be on this season, so Jacob, what's it like working with her again on the show compared to what you did your work with Disney Channel, the movie The Swap?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was wild working with her again. On The Swap, it was very, we didn't get to do a lot of the stunts. It was very much like, okay, we need to be safe. We don't want you to get hurt, And on this show, Hito and Janelle were like, all right, so we want you to fake getting punched in the face and then roll over this car, It was really cool. She's awesome. She's super, super cool in the series. I can't wait for everybody to see what she gets to do, but it's awesome. This is very, very cool.
Yeah, I just want to say Peyton is an amazing new cast member on the show. I think people who were fans of hers from the work in the past are going to be very surprised to see this performance. She's amazing, and she does a lot of ass kicking herself.
Thanks. Next question.
So I got a question that fans want to know. So from the greatest rivalries, you have BJ Penn versus Georges St. Pierre, from Conor McGregor to Nate Diaz. When are we going to see Lawrence versus LaRusso Part 2?
Listen, I'll tell you right now.
My mic turned
The
off.
same thing I told the other guy. Listen, we're not going to tell you. Stay tuned. We know that the Lawrence LaRusso rivalry is obviously the lifeblood of this show. It has dripped down the generations into the next generation of the kids in the Valley. Will that come to blows? How will it come to blows? Stay tuned for a very special episode of Cobra Kai at some point.
Next question, this will be our last question.
Sure. William, a lot of people were very surprised to learn that you had no karate training prior to the filming of the first movie, but I had heard that you were a high school wrestler. Is that true, and how did that help you prepare? Because your karate was amazing in the first film.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I didn't know karate. I couldn't imagine getting cast as Johnny Lawrence when I read the script. It's a feature film. He's a champion karate fighter. I was a wrestler, but I didn't know any karate, and I also never rode a motorcycle. So I was like, there's no chance of this. The wrestling gave me a good base. Interestingly, though, I had an injury in my senior year. I did an exhibition match with the guy who was like 2 weight classes above me, and he body slammed me and threw my back out, so I had a bad back, which actually got me more to the drama club, as you hear these stories, truly. But when I got Karate Kid, I had this little knowledge in the back of my head, like I have a pretty weak back, and I was nervous about that. But Pat Johnson, who trained all of us for the Karate Kid, stretched me out, got me in shape, and actually healed my lower back, and gave me an incredible base of martial arts that I carried on after the film for a number of years, and go back and forth. And then this show came along, and I'm back into that again, thanks to Hito and Janelle. And also they hooked us up with the great master Simon Rhee, if you know who he is from Best of the Best. He's awesome. So he got us tuned up, and just what I went through, you know, I did it in 3 months, and from 0 to the final fight in 3 months. These guys are doing the same thing. These guys both came in, I think you knew some, right? Coming in a little bit?
A year in the first grade, so yes, I was a master.
A year in the first grade from the YMCA. Jacob, I forgot. Or you came in cold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a skater, man. He's like a surfer. No, but these guys are killing it, you know? I mean, it's amazing what good trainers can do in such a short period of time with the determination and the work ethic these guys put in, and all the younger cast. And I just want to say one thing. This show, this season, you know, is really heavy on exploring the young life of all of the younger cast and the new cast. It's incredibly insane. I'm so proud of them. They killed it. Wait till you see. April 25th.
Guys, this year marks the 35th anniversary of the Karate Kid. Holy guys, you can see that movie, that amazing classic movie, in theaters tomorrow, March 31st and April 2nd. And it features an exclusive introduction from Ralph Macchio and this gentleman, William Zabka.
In every single theater across the country.
Every single theater. You're running around.
Might be video.
And have a preview of Cobra Kai Season 2, and you can get tickets, more info on fathomevents.com. And then Karate Kid will be coming out on 4K Ultra HD on April 16th. It's a hell of a month for fans of Karate Kid and Cobra Kai because it all culminates April 24th when the entire season of Cobra Kai Season 2 debuts on YouTube Premium.